Hello, I'm once back again for a sort of level design tutorial. Here, let me quickly game mode, spectator. So it's incredibly easy to sort of design your map based on ideas or just concepts. Here, this is my first attempt at using an IP, an existing IP. So what I did was I thought of a Doctor Who episode that I wish I had seen, or that I felt as if I could create myself. And this sort of level is revolving around the TARDIS that's broken down, and you need to go searching for tools in different planets to repair it, which I thought was pretty cool. It puts you in the shoes of the Doctor and has them do specific things. You can see sort of similar ideas being represented in other games that follow IPs, like Star Wars Battlefront 2, the campaign mode. Battlefront 1 did not have a campaign mode, Battlefront 2 did. You sort of follow in the path of a soldier within the Empire. You're playing as a bad guy for probably the first time, like one of those soldier bad guys. And you're experiencing the story through their shoes, from what I understand from it. Or you could look at another existing IP. Let me quickly look at my game collection. The Walking Dead, right? You have unique characters in the Telltale Walking Dead games. Same with the other IPs that they cover. Telltale, in particular, before they sort of went bankrupt, they were sort of known for their games that they created with their IPs. And they would create these unique stories that fit incredibly well within the universe. Like the Telltale Walking Dead games, even though very few of the characters, other than maybe like Jesus and Glenn at the time, because the show wasn't out quite yet when the first season was created. At the time, we hadn't seen them other than what was in the comics, and they were able to use completely new characters and create something completely unique. With the Guardians of the Galaxy game that they did, they used existing characters and they really did their research to sort of bring them out. And it's incredibly important when creating an IP to do your research. I know when they were creating Battlefront 2, they would regularly communicate with the Lucas Films like game studio, and they even went to Skywalker Ranch or whatever that place was called. They really did their research. Um, it's just incredibly important when you're using an existing product to find out what you can about said product. It was sort of represented the most in the museum down here. Alright, well, I can't quite go down here. Game mode spectator. / game mode creative. Even though it's something small, other than these unique planets that I've created with Leventhria and Spadefall and Fayath, I looked at other names that they've created, and I've sort of tried replicating the same style, like Telos right here. Earth, well, Earth's an existing planet. Ithakar is me. I created Ithakar, I think. Houghton, I created. Mundus, I did not. This is sort of a name, not Dayon. But some of these names, Telos and Mundus, they kind of sound like similar. Like they're not like. There's no particular like reason why they're called that, but Fayath and Leventhria, like they all sound as if they could be a part of the same franchise. And what I did was I looked at a list of all these planets that have been discovered, and I created planets that sound similar. These are existing people: the Bandro, the Cryon Finger, the Dalek, the Cybermen. These ones are popular, but these two, you sort of don't really know them that well. The Cryon, the Bandril, they've appeared in like very little, but they're reptilian creatures. They're crystalline creatures. And Telos is a planet that the Cybermen invaded. Like, I did a bunch of research, even for some small stuff. In the book over here, it sort of says that... Oh, wrong area. It's crossed. But that the TARDIS typically heals itself, but it's not doing it right now. And that's typically what it does. Not only can the Doctor sort of like heal and I forget what the particular word they use is, but if he dies, he can just come back as this different form. That's why there's so many different actors. Like it goes from Eagleton to David Tennant to Matt Smith to Peter Capaldi to like all these other different people, because they're able to heal and the ship is able to heal as well. But it's not doing it right now, and that's stated. You sort of, the very first thing I thought of with when I thought of doing this was not what was possible, but how they explained what is possible in the universe. And a lot of it's like it exists just because. Like it's not like hard science. They don't like go into depth about why it exists and explain it. It just exists because they wanted to write about it. Like the Cybermen, they hardly really explain that. At least from what I've watched since the Ninth Doctor, they don't really explain how the Cybermen work. They just explain that these like they do, right? The people's consciousness, they're transferred into the Cybermen. It just works. And so I figured there's something that exists that can sort of trap the TARDIS. It can prevent it from traveling through time. And why? Because it exists for this narrative, you know? I don't need like hard science for something that doesn't really use hard science. Like if it's within the universe, and I'm quite proud of what I've created. You just sort of like, it's a lot of research, and it really helps if you're a fan of what you're creating. Again, I'm really bad at doing this. These tutorials, this teaching thing, I'm definitely not going to be a teacher. But I hope any of this made sense. I'm awful bad. I'm also bad at explaining my words, but thank you for watching. And I hope, I don't know, gave you some ideas.